Fellas, welcome back. Week 5. Boy, was it a fun one. Pretty high scoring week across the league. Lot of points. You love to see it. You just love to see it. A lot of points, a lot of everything, a lot of fun. We're having a good time. I actually did decent on predictions this week for the first time all season. When 4-1, only game I got wrong was the Char Sami game. We had a lovely winner of the week. We had a lovely loser of the week. But we're gonna get into the full week, get into the full matchup and everything. But I can't seem to remember who the winner of the week was. It's definitely someone very handsome, definitely someone very smart, definitely someone that you all love very dearly. Whoever it was, let's hear from him now, shall we?
Oh, hey. Didn't see you there again, huh? I know I took last week off. Had to give that to the troops, but we're back in our rightful spot. Having a victory cup of coffee. You can't make a Tomlin without breaking a few Gregs, those who know. Just working on a very important business document over here to start my day, and man, does it feel good to be back on top. You guys are all a bunch of scrubs, you understand that? 2 out of the last 3 weeks, highest score. If you want to just give me all the money now, you can go ahead and give me all the money now. But, almost dropped to a 200 burger on Log's Head this week. Everyone scored double digits. Our lowest score, I think, was Kyron Williams, who still very good. Drake London, you're amazing. Mike Evans, you're also amazing. If we would have played Joe Burrow, we could have broke 200 this week. The world is our oyster, fellas. It really is a pleasure beating the heck out of you guys week in and week out. And I would like to address one of these league members while I boast in my victory. Alex Trelonzio, why don't you mind your business, brother? Just because you're scared to make trades doesn't mean you need to influence fear and spread propaganda and lies to everyone else in this league. Just because you're a garbage man doesn't mean everyone else has to be a garbage man, and that's why you're going to lose to Noto this week. But I think that about wraps me up here. If you don't mind, I have another very important business presentation I need to get started on. So I'll catch you guys around, huh?
Yes, for the second out of 5 weeks, I was the highest scorer again, and it's been a pleasure running the table on you guys. We'll get into my specific matchups after, but Log never had a chance. About a 50-point win. That's just what happens when I go up against Log. You hate to see it for him. On the other side, it was very close for loser of the week. Sky with 87 was not the loser of the week. Sami, beautiful Sami. We love Sami. We love him very dearly. But we already got a video from him once this year, and now we got another one. But he's on the other side now. Sami, you want to talk about what happened, man?
Hey guys, it's Sami. Checking in after a day of studying. You know what's more embarrassing than studying and having a pimple on your nose at the age of 26? Scoring 84.58 points in fantasy football the entire week. My team is full of disappointments. I thought I'd be talking to you guys again as another winner of the week, but here I am, the lowest of the lows, as a loser. My dog's even whining in the background because he knows how embarrassing his owner is. Fucking trash. Breece Hall, where have you been the last 2 weeks? I need you in this team. I have 2 running backs that are good. Chase Brown wasn't even supposed to be good. I just put him in there because my bench is trash. I can't even look at my bench and be hopeful for the future because I got 17 points on my bench. So I don't even know what to do. Concussions are fake. I don't know what Nabbers is doing, or Neighbors. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. He should have played. Marvin Harrison disappeared again, just like week 1. Deebo Samuel, you should be better than that. You're just trash. I better hope that J.K. Dobbins can figure out how to get on the field next week and not have a bye because he's selfish. And I need David Montgomery back. He's the heart and soul of my team. I can't even look forward to next week. DK Metcalf has Geno Smith thrown to him. George Pickens has Justin Fields thrown to him. Texans defense is trash. My team is just full of a bunch of losers. At least the one positive is I got this in before Jack, and B, my team is better than Jack's. So, hopefully I won't see you guys next week.
Sammy, I know you said hopefully you don't see us next week, but I hope you do as the winner of the week because you deserve it, friend. First off, we're getting into the trade recaps. A lot of news, a lot of action shook up the league. Obviously, the biggest trade was the Noto Jack trade. Let me see if I can find it here. I want to make sure I get everything completely right. That was actually 2 weeks ago, so we're not going to get into it. But for this last week, I traded with Sammy, gave up Dobbins. Sammy gave me Brian Thomas and Antonio Gibson. And Gibson I've already dropped, so it was really just Dobbins for Brian Thomas. I think most people were okay with that trade. Sky thought that I came away on the high end. Noto thought I got fleeced, but at the end of the day, I think that was the only trade. Just kidding. So that happened, and then there were 2 trades again after that. Yeah, Wednesday was a big week. Omar and Jack did their usual mid-exchange with Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy. Just very irrelevant. And then Log traded Char, Javonte for Jalen Waddle. Again, just very irrelevant stuff going on that there's not really any need for me to dwell on because it's that irrelevant. But, yeah, that's what happened. So those were the trades. Let's get into the standings real quick before I do full matchups. We have most of the league. Let me scratch that. I'm 4-1. We have 3 teams that are 3-2, and then everyone else is 2-3, which is honestly very cool. The points for, this is the first time I think this has ever happened, is perfectly synced up with your place. So if you're the 5th highest scorer, which is Sammy, you're also in 5th place. So very cool. Sky has the most points scored against him at 685 over 5 games, which I sent the breakdown for how much that breaks out into per week, but he's constantly saying that he always gets lucky, and right now the numbers are backing that up for him. So, yeah. Speaking of Sky, let's get into his matchup. He got curb stomped by Sean this week, 141.66 to 87.06. So, that's a lot of points. It was never close. Obviously, Sky very upset about Tucker Kraft, but even if Sean doesn't play Tucker Kraft, he still wins by a lot more points than Tucker Kraft scored. Tucker Kraft was Sean's leading scorer with 24 points, but everyone had at least 11 points, including his defense. The Packers were 11 with his lowest score. Kamara with 12. Tyreek Hill with 12. And then everyone else just had a very solid game. So 141, that was good for the 3rd highest score this last week. Sky narrowly avoids loser of the week. He said I was going to regret chirping Najee, and I did not regret chirping Najee because he finished with 9 points. He is the definition of mid. Sky's running back room is looking bad. I'll say it. ETN in the 2nd round, not looking like a good pick so far. He has a shoulder injury. CD hasn't been playing great. Godwin's cooled off a lot. Deontay didn't look great. Deontay over Ayuk. I see the vision, Sky. Obviously, last week was the week Ayuk got it going, so tough. And then, Kincaid in the tight end, not good. Purdy didn't have a good week. Just pretty bad week all around for Sky. But he's 2-3, one of the many. He's in 8th place. Sean is 3-2 in 2nd. Next matchup, we had Stern versus Omar. Stern gets his 2nd win, moves up to 2-3. Omar drops to 2-3. Pretty low scoring game. I think, I know this was collectively the lowest scoring combined matchup. Stern was led by T. Higgins with 29, and then Nico caught that bomb, but now he's on IR. So that's tough. You hate to see that if you're Stern. Mahomes has not been good. Chuba's been very good this whole season. Aaron Jones obviously got injured. Freiermuth was decent. Christian Kirk was solid. Zach Moss was good. He got hurt as well. So Stern's a little depleted, and I'll hit on that in our matchup preview, but it was enough to get the win against Omar, who only scored 101 points. Omar was complaining a lot about we just wanted to get a win and nothing ever goes his way and blah, blah, blah. He scored 101 points. He was bottom 3 in scoring. I don't feel bad for him this last week. His team didn't do well. I also told him before that it was really dumb of him to be starting both Derrick Henry and Justice Hill, but he basically told me that he was too big brain for me and I wouldn't understand it, and then they scored 20 points combined. So Tutu Atwell was good. Obviously, Dontavian Wicks was a huge disappointment. JJ with 15. Solid, but you obviously want more from the best receiver in football. Bears defense was solid, and Kelsey's been solid. Obviously, Devontae was hurt and was on bye. He missed him a lot. But Rashee Rice, IR, I think he's officially done for the year. So Omar, well, if I were Omar, I would probably drop Rashee if he hasn't already to free up a roster spot, and he did. That was very smart of him. Good job, Omar. But dumb of him last week just to not be a good player. So 101, 119. Stern's still in last place, 2-3. Omar also 2-3 in seventh place. Our third matchup was Char versus Sami. This was the one matchup I got wrong this week. I went 4-1. This was the one matchup I got wrong. Char dropped 136, so he was fifth in scoring. 136 being fifth in scoring, like I said, was a very high scoring week across the league. He was led by DJ Moore with 27. He really balled out. Kareem Hunt looked like a great waiver pickup. Javonte looked very good. Josh Allen has not been great this season from a fantasy perspective, and Kenley hasn't really been great in general. He was like 9 for 30, which is very bad. Obviously, Char getting hit by the injuries a little bit, really just with Jonathan Taylor, but that's his best player. That was his first-round pick, and Ingram hasn't played like it all the whole year. But Colby Parkinson looked the part this last week with 12 points. So Char had a really solid matchup. Jordan Addison was 6, Chiefs with 8. Everyone else had at least double digits outside of that. Sami, we heard from him already. He only had 3 players break double digits. Dak had 16, Chase Brown had 16, George Kittle had 20. 3 points from Debo, 5 points from Marvin Harrison, 6 from Brees, 7 from DK, 5 from George Pickens. Missed Malik Neighbors a lot. And then Rashid Shaheed with 18 on his bench. Darnold did not look great this last week either. He was on the bench only with 4 points, but the Jets defense is pretty solid. Obviously, Sami missed David Montgomery and J.K. Dobbins this week a lot. He's definitely excited to get them back. I'm very curious to see what he does. If Zach Moss is to miss, if he's going to start Chase Brown, if he's going to start Dobbins, what he's going to do. Sami has a lot of depth. I think he's got to play the right guys going forward, which is easier said than done. But Char really beat the brakes off Sami, 136-84. Char's 3-2 in third. Sami 2-3 in fifth place. Fourth matchup was Noto versus Jack. I mean, I think we all saw this coming. Noto beat the heck out of Jack after that garbage trade that Jack made, but at least Jack wasn't loser of the week, which I think is all that Jack really wanted, candidly. He was still bottom 5 in scoring at 125. Noto 167, Jack 125. So it was a 42-point win. Wasn't close. Even if Noto didn't play Jamar and just took a 0 in that spot, he still would have beat Jack, to give you guys some perspective on how big that point differential was. But for Noto, Baker off the waivers, 23 points. Baker's been really solid this year. Bijan's been pretty disappointing. The Raiders defense only with 4. Everyone else had double digits. He had Darnell Mooney with 31 on Thursday, and then Jamar with 41. Trey McBride obviously looked very solid. Pittman looked good with Flacco back there. James Cook's very solid. So just a very solid week for Noto all around. Looking like that trade is benefiting him a lot. Certified Ingram fan, more like certified dummy. Am I right, guys? Lamar with 33. He's obviously amazing. Rico Dowdle with 19. Brian Robinson with 13. Wandale with 16. And then a little bit of fall off. Cortland Sutton only with 5. Dalton Schultz with 7. Cowboys defense with 8. Madison and Keon Coleman both with 10 and 11 respectively. So I think 125 honestly was one of the higher scoring weeks that Jack's had so far this season, because he's been that bad, but he still lost by 40 this week. So, Jack's at 2-3. He's in 9th place. Only ahead of Stern. Noto moves up to 2-3 after starting 0-3. 6th place. Noto looking like a dark horse after that trade. And then me and Lug. I talked a lot of smack with Amon-Ra and Saquon on bye, and it worked out. I scored 184 points. I beat him by almost 50, and that was without my 2 best players. Jake Ferguson was my lowest scorer with 13. Everyone else had more than 15. I had the Viking defense with 18, Trey Sermon with 18, DeAndre Swift with 20, Jaden Daniels with 20, Drake London with 33, and Mike Evans with 23 on Thursday. The matchup was basically over before it even started. I did ask Sky, because he was very upset about the trade with Sami, if I should start Antonio Gibson over Trey Sermon, and he said I should. So I didn't do that on purpose. So Trey Sermon scored 18, Antonio Gibson scored 6. Sky was wrong, I was right. Just want to call that out. Love you, Sky. Log, 35 points. I think that was top 5 in scoring this week, or maybe it was 6, because again, it was a really high scoring week, but I feel like you're going to take 135 points most week. Obviously, A-Kane getting hurt, that's a killer. Bucky with 5 on the bench, Rashad with 9 on the bench. I don't really know what you do with either Rashad or Bucky. Brock Bowers obviously looked awesome with 23. Garrett Wilson got 22 targets. Only 11 catches on 22 targets. Aaron Rodgers is garbage. And Kyler had that 50-yard touchdown, but did not look good besides that. But they got the win, so that's what matters. But Xavier Worthy obviously had the touchdown too. Solid matchup for Log. Just got outclassed, outmanaged by a superior fantasy football manager. So yeah, I'm in lone possession of first place, 4-1. Log is 3-2 in fourth place. Okay, matchups for this upcoming week. Honestly, pretty mid matchups across the board this week. Like none of these are really doing it for me. I'm just not feeling most of these matchups. I think most of them are going to be not close. But as always, I'll get into it. And I think you'll see why when I say this first matchup. Sammy's a 24-point favorite, and Omar has set his lineup. Sammy's projected for 136, Omar projected for 112. I don't know why Omar's team is this bad so early. Like, I guess, Rasheed Rice getting hurt is a bummer, and then he has JJ on bye. He traded away Tyreek and Kenneth Walker, which were his first and I think third round picks. So, I get it. Not good. You never want to be a 24-point underdog, but we'll get into it. He picked up Kirk off the waivers, I think. Was this his last week? Yeah, he did. He picked up Kirk off the waivers, who was getting the start over CJ Stroud. Derrick Henry obviously looks awesome. He's the running back 2 on the year. He gets Tony Pollard back from bye. He gets Devontae Smith back from injury. Jacoby Myers is the wide receiver 1 in Oakland, or Las Vegas, I apologize, with Devontae Adams holding out. And then he's starting Colt Kmet, Rome Odunze, and Alan Lazard. So not great, not really what you want to see. Bears defense should have a good week. Sammy, on the other hand, the only bye week is he's got Darnold, but he hasn't been starting Darnold anyway. I don't know what Sammy's going to do, candidly, because he's, like I've said, his issue is he has a lot of depth. So right now he's going Breece Hall, Demont, Marvin Harrison. He's supposed to get Neighbors back this week, and then Debo and J.K. Dobbins, which means that he's sitting DK Metcalf, who's a wide receiver 11 right now, which is pretty crazy. I know he's playing San Francisco, but that's a Thursday night game, so he's got to make his decision in that regard before then. George Pickens finds his way to the bench, Chase Brown on the bench, Rashid Shaheed on the bench. So, Sammy really hit on most of his picks, which obviously is a good thing for Sammy, but not a good thing when you're trying to make start-sit decisions. So, I think you guys know where I'm going with this. I'm going to pick Sammy over Omar. If someone's favored by 24 points, they're normally favored by 24 points for a reason. No disrespect, Omar. I think you're a great guy, but maybe not this week in terms of fantasy, huh? All right. Char and Noto. Both projected for less than 130. Noto's projected for 126. Char projected for 121. Char texted me that this is the week that he solidifies himself as a contender. I don't see it. I don't see it that way. But whatever works for him, right? Maybe he's wrong and I'm wrong. Maybe he's right and I'm wrong. I bet Jonathan Taylor doesn't play again, so this is going to, spread. The spread's going to be even more, and he's got Kareem Hunt on bye, who was his fill-in for last week. So, he's got Kareem Hunt, Jordan Addison, and Kelby Parkinson on bye. So, if Ingram doesn't play, he doesn't have another tight end on his roster. I don't know who he would drop. He'd probably have to drop Colby. Kareem Hunt, obviously, on bye. Geno is not getting the start over Josh Allen, which makes sense. But, we've seen Char's team. Jaden Reed's sick. DJ Moore looked good. Jahmyr Gibbs is good, but not a lot of depth. Zay Flowers, maybe he'll be good, even though Char was trying to trade him for Amari Cooper, which I'd rather have Zay Flowers, but you do you, Alex. On the other side, we have Noto, projected for 126. He's got Pacheco on bye, Pacheco's injured. I don't know why he's rostering him. Actually, maybe he'll come back. That's why. And then Chubb and Hawk on bye, too. I like Noto's new team. I think I've said that. And Nico going to IR honestly is good for Tank Dell. So I'm really interested to see what he does with there. If I were Noto, I would think that if Anthony Richardson is playing, I'm benching Pittman for Tank Dell. But if Flacco is playing, maybe he gets the start. Obviously, James Cook and Bijan, you're not touching. Darnell Mooney's been looking awesome, especially against Carolina. That's probably going to be explosive. Jamar Chase against the Giants, that's money. And then Trey McBride against Green Bay, too. I guess, Noto's on a 2-game win streak. He's looking very solid. Char's team, I'm not as high on as I think he is, but you got to respect it. I'm obviously going to pick Noto here, but again, it is what it is. Third matchup, we got Sean and Jack. Sean's a 16-point favorite. You see, this is what I'm saying. These lines are crazy this week. I don't think Jack has a good team. Joe Mixon didn't practice again today. Devontae Adams isn't going to play. Anthony Richardson obviously stinks. Keon Coleman's not very good. Cam Akers is literally projected for 0 right now. Wandale was a good pickup off the waivers. Rico Dowdle's looked decent, but Laporta hasn't been good. Lamar is his only good player who he got from Noto. Just not good. Not very solid. That's why he's projected for 114, which is 2 more points than Omar's projected for, just for context. Sean, a lot of Packers, as we know. Got Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, and Tucker Kraft all going against the Cardinals, obviously, because they're on the same team. But the Cardinals' defense is not great. Kamara is still the running back 1 on the year. We'll see what happens with Carr getting injured. Maybe less checkdowns, maybe more. Who's to say? Kenneth Walker's obviously very good. Ramondre didn't practice today, but I mean he's still the starter. Like in New England, I'm sure that he's going to end up playing this week and he's going to be fine. Scary Terry, good, and then Diggs obviously gets a huge boost with Nico going out. He is now the wide receiver 1 in Houston. I'm not, these are big spreads. Like I'm obviously going with the person who's projected for more than 15 points. Like I also think Jack's team stinks, and Sean's in second place for a reason, right? So. Sean's in second, Jack's in ninth, and I think that shows this week. Okay, this matchup's actually, I guess, my favorite of the week. But again, it's a 14-point swing already, and it's Log and Sky. Sky's about a 14-point favorite. No one's on bye or injured for Sky, which is crazy. Log has Akane, Waddle, Worthy, and then he picked up Juju, who's on bye this week, who looked good this past week against the Saints. Sky sitting at 2 and 3 in 8th place. Log at 3 and 2 in 4th place. Sky gets Jalen back from bye. I still think ETN is due for a bounce back. Doug Peterson has repeatedly said that ETN's the starter. It doesn't matter how good Bigsby looks. We'll see it. We'll believe it when we see it, right? Obviously, Najee freaking stinks. He really needs another running back. CD's very good. Godwin should have a good week, especially with Mike Evans getting the Lattimore treatment. Goddard should be good. Ayuk should be good. He's starting Deontay over Olave. That's the thing with Olave, man. He's so good, but the quarterback plays always let him down. That's always been his issue. I think I had him last year, and I ran into the same issue. Log, like I said, he's about a 14-point underdog. Kyler and James Conner are going against Green Bay. Brock Bowers is obviously very good. I'm not as high as Garrett Wilson as Log is. I know we got 20 targets last week, but I just think the Jets suck and they're a dumpster fire. Starting Rachaad White, which is something you don't ever want to do during this year of 2024. And then, dude, you're starting 2 tight ends. Oh, Log. I wanted to be fun and pick at least one upset, but you're starting Kyle Pitts and Rachaad White in your flexes. You're doing two tight ends, which I may be doing in another league, but my team isn't this bad. So I'm going with Sky. I don't know if I've picked Sky. I have picked Sky to win. I'm 2 and 3 on Sky games. I'm 3 and 2 on Log games. We're gonna balance them out. We're gonna balance them out this week, fellas. Yeah, it's gonna be Sky. All right, this last game is me and Stern, and I don't really know how to break this matchup down, candidly. I am a 79-point favorite, and that's not me misspeaking. I'm projected for 145 points, and Stern is projected for 66 points. We'll get into Stern's side first. Mahomes is on bye, and he doesn't have another quarterback on his roster. Chuba is his only good player right now, and I traded him to him. Aaron Jones is on bye and injured. Nico Collins is injured. T. Higgins is good. Freiermuth is decent. Kirk's been fine. Zach Moss didn't practice today. And that's his team. I guess he'll start Mark Andrews in his flex too. Maybe he'll start Shakir as well. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. Also, on the points scored by a week, I have outscored Ben every single week this season. So, crazier things have happened. I respect Stern more than I respect Log, so I'm not going to say the things that I said about Log to Stern this week. But I'm projected for 145 points. Yeah, I don't really feel like I need to dive into this one too much. And I have Kyron on bye this week. I can't wait to get Cooper Kupp back. Forgot I had him on my team. That's going to be fun to deal with. But, yeah. I'm a 79-point favorite. I am favored by more points than Ben is currently projected for. I am in first place. Ben's in last place. I don't want to sound like too much of a not very nice guy right now, but I'm just going to write my name and we're going to call it that. And that's going to be that for this week. Fellas, always great seeing the chat fire up when you guys watch this. I appreciate that you guys watch these. I know they're long, but I love making them, and I love making them for you guys. So thanks for watching. Good luck to everyone except Char, because that guy is literally my ops. But other than that, let's make some trades. Let's make some moves. Love you guys.